Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. This time, Trails in the Sky, first chapter.
This is when you start the attack on the castle. Hey, Chloe's flying the plane, which is interesting. Is this when they meet the Jaeger lieutenant? I believe it is. It's 12 noon. Big story. Biggest in the history of the liberal news. Is there another purpose for this? This is when White Gehenna was the answer to everything. I thought the attack on the capsule operation was pretty cool. They did kind of similar operations in Cold of Steel where they split up the party and stuff. What the? Someone had better tell me this is a bad joke. On the double. What a disgrace. Estelle Bright, Princess Cloak. This is the first time they fight her. Stand aside. I'm here to demand the release of my grandmother. Watch your tongue, girl. Ah, this is when they meet the lieutenant. Don't know if I'll beat him again, but Claudia and Estelle. So you're finally here. Lieutenant Lawrence. We still have got 3-1 odds. Former Jaeger and scout for the colonel. So you've done your research. Most impressive. The daughter of an S-ranked bracer, one Cassius Bright, I believe. You are not one to be trifled with. Sherazard Harvey. I didn't even know her last name was Harvey. Also known as the Silver Streak, C-ranked, and very close to B rank. Please release her. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Take heed, princess. The nation is like an enormously complex orbment. If you lack the means to understand how it works, then you are unfit to be its queen. I don't really understand what you're talking about. We don't plan to let the queen go, do you? And if I do not, obviously we'll take her back by force. You don't give me the impression that you bear us any ill will, but I will bring my blade to bear on you. Good. Let me show you a little of what I can really do. Silver hair. No, it's ash blonde. Guess that you were born somewhere up north. Though it's closer than you might think. I trust you will not be offended if I choose not to go easy on you simply because you are women. Shall we then? Yeah, I went through the trouble of beating this the first time. I'm not really going to do it again the second time. It took me at least 15-20 minutes to beat it. How disappointing. You are so young, yet you have endured such hardships already. That's interesting. You are hardly qualified to feel pity for me. You who know the name of Hamel. Oh. So playing Cold Steel, I kind of know what that is. I think that's where he came from. Hey, is he insane? Did he drop into the lake? The water is undisturbed. Who is this guy? He never laid a hand on me. Estelle! Joshua. What? He jumped over that handrail. He's some kind of monster, all right. So yeah, that was interesting meeting him. But too bad there wasn't a conversation between him and Joshua, at least in this game. Weapons out. So I will say this whole, thing with Zemurian technology. We're here to put a stop to your plans. The gospel. Oriole thing. So the Septarians, yeah, this whole thing about them reminds me a lot of Cold Steel and dealing with all the supernatural forces in those games. But this game didn't really go that far with it, at least in the first game. Maybe the second and third game will go more into it. And Colonel Richard being trained by a Divine Blade, of course, reminds me of Rain. There's also Divine Blade in Trails to Zero, I believe, as well. The country's great champion is gone. The goddess herself and the hero beloved by her. The greatest miracle is when people band together and fight to protect what they love. That was actually the wisest or most eloquent thing that Estelle said this whole game. It took a lot of people working like crazy together to protect the country. Well said, Estelle. How did you know about this place, Colonel? A forbidden power dormant for untold centuries, unknown to even Her Majesty. Seems extremely unlikely that you found this through the Intelligence Division. Well, I don't have to answer that. Wrong! You don't want to answer because you cannot. And that, if you use the Black Orban, you can control it, but you have no idea when or how you came to that belief, do you? Am I wrong? You lost your memory, just like those other people. So what? Moving on to the next one. So yeah, in my opinion, the two best scenes in the game were their second talk, Joshua and Estelle's talk, and obviously, the meeting afterwards. and you know what, Joshua and Estelle's final meeting before he left. Those are the best scenes probably in the game. Let's get to it. Okay, we finally made it to the rest area. Let's stop and rest. Still, I think I'd like to stay with you from now on. She's... Huh? Nothing like that. But what do you mean by stay with me? Just that we know each other so well, and we could practically read each other's minds. I think we make a good team. Oh, you mean for bracer business? And I was thinking you were to tell me your big confession. Nothing, forget I said anything. Oh, it's time for some ice cream. My treat. Nah, there's no way. Like, this whole scene was amazing. As much as I knew about this before, I didn't know about this particular part of the story. You've always made me really uncomfortable. You're always there. Timing's almost a little too good. Professor Alba, is it you? Impressive. Even with your cognizance and recollection being puppeteered, you were still able to piece it all together. When your heart was in tatters, it was I who rebuilt it, I who restored it. It was I who poured a soul back into that empty vessel. You have the power to twist the minds and memories of men. I mean, this part in itself was pretty shocking to me. The seven snake apostles, the anguish. You're one of them. Wiseman the Faceless. Enforcer number 13, the Black Fang, Joshua Estray. Which I kind of remembered from Cold Steel. Which means that Lieutenant Lawrence has to be. I was kind enough not to erase your memories of him. You're here to finish me off? No, nothing of the sort. The first phase of our plan went off without a hitch. Thought I'd come to see you. First phase? The seal in the old ruins? The gate which blocks the path to the ring. First step of many. There's no means of closing it again. What the hell is the shining ring? What is your little society after? If you really wish to know, why don't you rejoin? We can get you back into fighting form. Please spare me your withering looks. I do understand that you have a family now. You greatly admire your father, to say nothing of the girl you so adore. Even with him on our side, throwing those gifts away would be the actions of an idiot. Aim to offer you true freedom from our association as thanks for the integral role you so perfectly play. This is what got me, because I didn't realize this. You are already a free man. I am most grateful for the work you've done for the past 5 years. And this is what really broke him. I've been helping you? What kind of bullshit? But rather a spy. We played on the pities of a noble-hearted man, and it worked. You were given a loving home. And while you were there, our contacts would check in on you from time to time, and you'd tell them everything. Information on the Bracer Guild, as well as Cassius Bright. So it was funny how Joshua made the comment earlier that, you know, this whole coup plan was brilliant because it happened to be at the same time that Cassius was, you know, outside the country. And it was from the information that Joshua fed them and because of the Ouroboros. Of course, you wouldn't remember doing these. You were not yourself at the time. Cassius Bright, S-rank bracer. He was the foremost impediment to the success of this plan. You felt certain he would be quick to act in order to stop any coup d'etat that should occur. No, you're lying. You have to be lying. All that time I spent with Estelle. If you say nothing, they will never know. However, it is the sort of thing that might weigh heavily on a fellow. Since your fellow members of the Bright household are such good people, perhaps a little too good for a monster such as yourself? Man, he really knows how to push his buttons. However much you may model your behavior after a normal, decent person, you are no such thing. You must surely have noticed your ability to reason and execute a solution to a problem, no matter the circumstances. Your physical strength and reflexes better than an entire squadron of normal soldiers. You are my greatest creation, my human weapon, the Black Fang. You have no place in the lives of normal people. You'll never be happy in their presence again. You can't be. When it becomes too much for you, you are always welcome to return to the Grand Master Society of Souls, to Ouroboros. And then he walks away. That was well done. It's broken. It's my punishment, my sister-in-law. I don't know too much about that part of his life, though. His sister-in-law. Like, I've seen the parts in Cold Steel, but I still don't know enough about it. What do I do? And Estelle, oblivious. I wonder if Joshua figured me out. Estelle, thought I might find you around here. Hi, Professor Alba. I don't know, something seems different about you. Why are you so happy? You got me. To tell the truth, I made some major advances. You might say it's put me in a good mood. That's awesome. Oh, sorry, the ice cream's gonna melt. I see, Cassius Bright's daughter. I think she's going to be quite a lot of fun. Sorry it took so long, it was super crowded. Cool, thanks. Now we can eat like kings. So about earlier, yeah, I want to apologize. I didn't mean to be so vague. Just wasn't an appropriate time for confessions. She's like, oh, sure. I didn't really mind so much. It seemed kind of silly to try and rush things. We may be senior braces, but that just means that we had different work to focus on. We might have to really consider our future prospects. She's like, right. If we get married, we'll have to think about kids. It's, yeah, okay. It's a love story, right? Like I said at the beginning, they've set these guys up since the beginning of the game to the end of the game. It is what it is. Like that's just the path that they've put together for these characters. You know, it's not the worst thing. It's interesting. Everyone's probably waiting for us. Hey, Joshua? No, what will give you that idea? Come on, let's get back to the castle. Stell's pacing. What's wrong with Stell? Something on your mind? Yeah. Hey, Cheryl, do you think Joshua is acting weird? If anyone was acting weird, I'd say it was you. Aha, I see. You can't keep your secrets from me. I was wondering if you'd ever admit it to yourself. It's interesting how they say it that way. You're kind of falling for Joshua, aren't you? You can tell? It's pretty obvious. Sorry, hon. I'm guessing you haven't told him anything. Joshua's always picking on me, telling me what a dope I am. To wonder how you've lasted this long. You need to learn to look a little deeper. Big sister is ready to educate you. I'm never asking for advice again. I don't mean to tease, but you guys set out just when puberty was about to hit. It's only logical that you'd start to pick up on feelings for each other. Oh, you think so? Traveling together seems like such a petty reason. Guess I've gotten a little more self-aware since we started all this. She's getting flustered. Let's have some girl talk. Second thought, never mind. I'm gonna go see Joshua. Oh, you're gonna tell him? I'm not quite that ready. Young love. This whole harmonica thing worked out for them. Hey, Estelle. Nice night, isn't it? The whereabouts of light. But this song and this harmonica have always been with me. Thinking about why I play it. Maybe it's a habit I should quit. I think I want to tell you what I was doing before I met you. This may take a while. Do you mind? Once upon a time, there lived a little boy all by himself. So yeah, they didn't. I guess they're leaving that for a different game. They didn't explain how he lost his family. He was the timid sort, relying on the kindness of others. The people he cared about, so he was happy. One day, something happened that broke his heart. He forgot how to speak, to feel, even to eat. All he could do was play his harmonica. No matter how hard his caretaker tried, nothing helped his heart to mend, and he grew weaker by the day. One day, a wandering magician appeared before the boy. I will heal the boy's heart for you, provided, of course, I am compensated. So the boy was given into the magician's care. As he attempted to piece the broken heart back together, the magician found that he could shape the boy's existence into anything he wished. And so the boy's new heart became that of a murderer. For 2 years, the boy killed every single day. Under cover of night, he murdered dozens of soldiers. He slit the throat of a national cabinet minister who was under heavily armed guard. Sometimes he used explosive, which maimed and killed innocent bystanders. I mean, this is kind of crazy for a, 8 to 11-year-old? Like, he was max 11 years old, right? Because that's when Cassius caught him. At some point, he became regarded as something more than a mere killer. He was known as the Black Fang. Struck fear into the hearts of men. One day, the magician gave the boy an assassination order. His target was a hero, a man who had protected his queen and nation from the threat of an invading country. So who were the other three with an S rank, right? But the target was too strong. He defeated the boy with all the ease of a tiger swatting at a playful cub. So, I find that interesting. He's saying Cassius destroyed him. That moment, some of the magician's servants showed up. Since the boy's face had been seen, he was now a loose end to be tied up. Someone came to his aid and drove the attackers away. It was, of course, the man he had come to kill. So the boy was taken to the man's house where he met a young girl. He lived there for 5 years, always feeling like he was lost in a wonderful dream. In the real world, he would never be allowed to have such dreams. But all dreams must come to an end. Time was drawing near when reality could be avoided no longer. And that's the end. Was all that real? My heart is broken. My hands will always be stained with blood. I failed in the assassination of your father. I have been betraying you for a long time. The boy can't be saved from his real purpose. His presence alone seems to bring disaster and misery. He's just tainted. But the boy set out on a journey in hopes that he may keep his misfortunes from the ones he holds dear. He will find and stop the foul magician who created the life he has led. So he gives the harmonica. Last remnant of my human heart. I won't be needing it anymore. It's hardly an adequate way to thank you for the last 5 years, yet I can't think of anything better. And she's pissed. I said, stop it. Stop talking about it like it's a dream. You sound like nothing that's happened was even real. What difference does the past make? Your heart is broken? What does that even mean? Estelle, look at me. Look into my eyes. They've always seen that boy, in good times and bad. No matter how much the boy was hurting, I also saw how hard he'd keep holding on. Oh, so she says, Joshua, I love you. can't just leave me on my own. My feelings won't just go away when you do. I won't let you. And he do that. Huh? So kissing is allowed in JRPGs if it's used for a different purpose. What was that? So bitter. It's just a fast-acting sedative. Don't worry, there are no side effects. Why? Why did you? My Estelle, you shine like the sun. My time with you was the happiest and the most painful I've ever known. Just as the brightest light casts the darkest shadow, if you stayed with me, you'd find out just how disgusting my true nature is. Sometimes I think it would have been better if we'd never met. No. But this time is different. I'm grateful that you came to see me. I hate that I have to run from a girl who's so important to me, but it's all I can do. But I want you to know that I'll always be thinking of you. Joshua, thank you for everything. You had me from the first moment I met you. I've always loved you. See? I mean, you know, that's fine, but can you imagine, you know, going back to when I first started talking about this, can you imagine Lloyd or Reen using this line? Like, I know Joshua feels free because he doesn't think he'll ever see Estelle again, you know, to say what's on his mind. But, like, yeah, I cannot imagine Lloyd or Reed saying this to their love interests. Anyway, it is what it is. It's nice, you know. They're probably gonna refer back to this in the next game. Goodbye, Estelle. Hey, that was a great scene. Yeah, I am looking forward to playing Trails in the Sky second chapter. I am most definitely looking forward to it. So, you know, it is, you know, a solid 30 to 40 hours. So maybe next month. What is it? We're getting into August. Maybe in September, I'll have a video put together for my thoughts on second chapter. So look forward to that. Yeah, I let's see like what happens with that. But yeah, I will definitely put a video on for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.